Clay Parlett. It is cool. Very cool. I'm gonna win. Clay something. Okay, so what chapter are we starting today, folks? Chapter 3. Okay, Chapter 2 was all about equations that you just solved. Chapter 3 is all about graphing those equations. So you can see that you have graphs at the bottom of your page there. You can see that you have graphs on the back of your page. You will also have graphs on your homework tonight. Okay, so what does the word linear mean? A line. Okay, so a linear equation is a line when graphed. Okay, a line when it's graphed. If you look down a couple, do you have your phone sitting there next to your thing? I don't care. Put it away. Because quite frankly, I don't believe you. Linear equation is a line when it's graphed. Okay, what do you think if you look down here? What is a nonlinear equation? Not a line, right? What do we call something that's not a line? Well, it's not linear. If it's not a line, what must it be? No? Say it. Somebody said it. A curve. A nonlinear equation is a curve when graphed. The question is, how do you tell without having the graph in front of you? There's 3 characteristics if it's going to be curved. If it's going to be curved, you could have multiplication of 2 variables. So a times b or s times t. Okay. You also could have division by a variable. These are things that take a straight line and turn it into something funky. Okay, it could be a curve, it could be a circle, it could be a U shape, which is a parabola. It could be a whole bunch of different things when these things start to happen. And finally, the other thing that could change it from a line to a curve is an exponent other than 1. An exponent other than 1. So those 3 things would tell me it's no longer a line. Okay, and we'll get into that today. So I would like for everybody to look down at numbers 1 through 11, I believe they're in the middle. Does everybody see 1 through 11? Can you tell me which of those would be non-linear from what I just told you? She says number 4 is non-linear. Why is number 4 non-linear? You guys see these exponents of 2? This thing is actually a circle. Okay, this thing is non-linear. Hold on one second. Because those exponents are 2, that is non-linear. She's also telling me number 6. Why number 6? You guys see how the x and y are being multiplied? Everybody see that? That means it's going to be non-linear. It's going to be some kind of funky curve. What other one are you telling me? 9? Let's look at 9. Yep, why 9? Yep, well, they're being multiplied, right? Okay. And there's one more. You say number 2? Why is number 2 nonlinear? Division by a variable. How we doing, folks? Those things will be nonlinear. Guess what? I'm not really concerned with the nonlinear ones. You tell me they're nonlinear, I'm done with them. I'm not going to do anything with them. Fair enough? Okay, so if they are linear, we have something called standard form. Now, why do they call it standard form? I'm not sure, but I have my own theory. When you guys were little, your parents got super excited when you learned your ABCs, right? Yeah. I know I get super excited when my kids learn their ABCs. I'm like, oh, yay, you're a 2-year-old and you know your ABCs. It's so cute. Okay, well, standard form is like your ABCs. It's like the base form, okay? And it looks something like this. AX plus BY equals C. Does everybody see how that has ABC in it? Yes, that's standard form, Okay? Standard form makes it super easy to find intercepts. It makes it super easy to find intercepts. My question is, what are intercepts? If I say, find me the y-intercept or find me the x-intercept, how do I know where that is? Or the x-axis. So for the y-intercept, it crosses the y-axis. And for the x-intercept, it crosses the x-axis. Everybody okay with that? Yes? Are you sure? Okay, now I'm going to fill in one more thing below these two. But before I do that, I want to go down to the graphs at the bottom of your page. Okay, does everybody see the 4 graphs across the bottom? Look at your directions. It says, determine the x and y intercepts. So on number 1, I'd like you to take your pencil and I want you to put a dot on the x-intercept and I want you to put a dot on the y-intercept. It crosses the x-axis right here. It crosses the y-axis right there. How is that for everybody? We sure? So tell me, what is the ordered pair of the x-intercept? It goes x comma y, right? Does everybody see that? X comma y? Okay, so what's the x value here? -1. What's the y value there? Is everybody agreeing with the 0? I went to the left 1 and then I didn't go up or down, did I? Does this make sense or no? -1, 0. Fair enough? Now I have the y-intercept. What's my x value here? No, you were right the first time. 0. Did everybody see how I didn't go left or right at all? I always start at the origin, don't I, folks? You see a little O there, don't you? I didn't go left or right at all, did I? So that's 0. How many am I going up? 3. How do we feel about that? Is that okay? Let's do it again. Put a dot on the x-intercept and the y-intercept. The x-intercept is on the x-axis. It's right there. He says -3, 0. Does everybody agree we went to the left 3 and then we did not go up or down? Okay. The y-intercept is on the y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everybody agree we did not go left or right. So that's why we start with a 0 and then we're going up 6. Now in number 3, I already have the dots on there for you, don't I? Okay, so you just need to tell me. He says 3, 0 for the x-intercept, right? And then the y-intercept is what? 0, 3. Folks, how are we doing with these points? Can you read a graph? I'm asking, can you read a graph? Okay, last one in this section. Give me some points for the x-intercept. Sounds good. Give me some points for the y-intercept. Say it again. 0, 1. Okay. Now, before I go back up to the top and add something to our notes up there, what do you notice about every x-intercept? Where do they all have 0? You guys see how they all have in the second spot? Isn't that second spot the y? So I want you to go back here, and under the x-intercept, right here, I want you to write in that the y is always 0. So that means it's always going to be some number, comma, 0. The x will always be a number because it's the x-intercept. If we go back here and we look at these, what do you notice about every single y-intercept? Where is the 0? The x spot. Isn't that where the x is up there, the first number? So for every single y-intercept, the x is 0, which means it's going to be 0, comma, some number. That's the biggest key for this entire set of notes today. How we doing? Are you ready to calculate some of these? Okay, so if you look down here in the middle it says, if the function is linear, find the intercepts. If it's nonlinear, say so. We already did the whole nonlinear thing, right? Those are done. So the rest of them must be linear. If they're nonlinear, then the only other option is to be linear, right? Okay, so I need to find my intercepts. The first thing I want to find is the x-intercept. What do you know about every single x-intercept? The y is 0, right? Yes? So if I'm going to find the point, what can I automatically fill in? Where? For the y, which is the second one, correct? Okay, so if I know the y is 0, this part right here would have to be 0, wouldn't it? Well, wouldn't that just be 5 times 0? Guys, what's 5 times 0? Do I really need that? No, so you're just covering this up because it's 0, right? What's the new equation if that part is 0? Does everybody see how that part comes out and it's just 2x is equal to? How do you solve this? So what's x? So what goes in this first spot? A 1. Some of you are zoning out on me. Get with me here. How we doing? Okay, that's just the x-intercept though, right? Now I purposely put a nonlinear one next to it, so if you need more room, we can go into the nonlinear. Let's find the y-intercept. Folks, what do I know about every single y-intercept? The x is 0, so if I'm going to start this ordered pair, where is the 0 going to go? In the front, in the x spot. Well, if the x is 0, wouldn't that be that part right there? And what's 2 times 0? So do I really need that part? So cover it up. What's the new equation? 5y is equal to 2. How? Nope. Divide by 5. You say 0.4. Could I leave it as 2/5? Sure, it doesn't matter if it's a fraction or decimal. So where am I going to put this 0.4? In that second spot, the y spot, which would be 0.4. So now, folks, you have 2 points on this graph. And folks, if I connect 2 points, what do I get? A line, which is exactly what I'm supposed to get, isn't it? These are linear. Okay, let's try again over there with number 3. Let's find the x-intercept first. What do I know about every x-intercept? If the y is 0, what can I fill in my ordered pair? Where can I fill in already? The y has got to be what? Okay, so folks, I need you to be with me here because this is not rocket science. You all know that it's x comma y, correct? So if I tell you that the y is 0, it's got to go where the y is. Okay, so if the y is 0, that would be this part, wouldn't it? We don't need it because it's 0, right? Cover it up. What's the new equation? How do you solve it? Divided by 7. So x is what? How we doing here, folks? Where am I going to put that -4? In the x spot right up there. So it's kind of like we're doing part A, part B. We're going to find the x-intercept first. We're going to find the y-intercept second. What do I know about every y-intercept? The x is 0. If the x is 0, what can I fill in? 0 first, you tell me? Yep. If x is 0, isn't that this part right here? So cover it up. Y is -7, you tell me? And where's that going to go? In the second spot, in the y spot. So there would be my 2 points. And what would happen if I connect those 2 points? You get a line because it's linear, folks. All of this stuff is connected together. You just got to realize it. How we doing? Is that okay? Let's do a couple more like this. We're going to save 5 and 8 for the end because they're super easy. Those are the easiest ones I got up there, and you'll see why. So let's go to number 7. I want to find the x-intercept. What do I know about every single x-intercept? The y is 0. If the y is 0, where can I put a 0? Which is the second spot, right? If the y is 0, and here it would be right here, wouldn't it? Can I just cover that up? No, because there's nothing else over there, is there? So you actually have to put in a 0 equals 4 minus 3x, and we're actually going to have to solve that whole thing. I can't just cover that up because there's nothing there. Can you write this down for me? How do I solve it? What is negative 4 divided by negative 3? Got a calculator there, right? Negative 4 divided by negative 3. 1 1/3. What's the decimal for this? 1.3 repeating. So where's your calculators at, folks? Got it? Let's go. Get them out. Where am I going to put? Yes, ma'am. This is the last day I'm going to let you borrow it. Okay? It's been 2 weeks. I can't reach it, though, because I'm going to be caught on my cord. Where am I going to put that 1 1/3? The first place. Folks, how we doing? Good, because we're going to start going around the room now. I want to find the y-intercept. Dalton, what do I know about every single y-intercept? Yep. What do I know about every single y-intercept? Okay, this is Dalton I'm talking to, okay? The x is 0, right? So if the x is 0, Dalton, where can I fill in a 0 in this point? First or second? First for the x. Okay, so if the x is 0, that's this spot right here. Dalton, can you tell me what the new equation would be if that part is 0? Okay, good news here, folks. There's nothing to solve. The y is already by itself, right? So Dalton, where am I going to put that 4? So go in the first spot or the second spot? It's going in the second spot. And now I have my 2 points that if I connect them, I make a line. Everybody doing all right? Okay. Again, we're going to save 5 and 8. Let's go to number 11, I believe. Oh, excuse me, number 10. Let's go and find the x-intercept. Gage, what do I know about every single x-intercept? If the y is 0, where can I put the 0 in my point? First or second? Okay. If the y is 0, that's that spot right there. If I just cover that up, what's my new equation? And then how would you solve that, sir? Which is it repeating? You can do it like that, or you can turn it into a fraction, whichever you prefer. Where are you going to put that 5.3 repeating? Got it. Right in the front. How we doing, folks? Okay, Luke, I'm back to you. I need to find the y-intercept. What do I know about every single y-intercept? If the x is 0, can I put that into the first or the second spot? Awesome. If the x is 0, that is this part over here. Can I just cover it up like I did with the other ones? No. What's the new equation if you put a 0 there? Well, it'll be plus 16, right? Now, if that's a 0 right here, this side of the equation will have to say equals 0. How do you solve that? Okay, what's the new equation there? And one more step. And what do you get? Y is... And where does that negative 4 go? First or second? Second. And again, folks, we have 2 points, which when I connect them will make a line, right? Okay. Number 11. I am up here to Braden. First thing I want to find, Braden, is the x-intercept. What do I know about every x-intercept? What equals 0? The y is 0. If the y is 0, where can I put the 0? First or second? Where is the y? Second. If the y is 0, that is right here. What is the new equation if I just cover that up? Now, if I want to solve this, I got to get my x's together. How am I going to do that? How? I got to add the 10x over. So now what's the new equation? Everybody following? One more step, Brayden. How do you? Yep. And what do you got? You did it upside down. The 3's got to go in first and then the 19. Is it just 15 or is there stuff after the 15? Is it like repeating? No, so let's just round it maybe to 0.2. Would everybody be okay with that? Yes, no? Okay, the 0.2 then can go in that first spot. Good, Brayden. I'm back to Cody now for the y-intercept. Cody, what do I know about every single y-intercept? If the x is equal to 0, where can I put the 0? Sounds good to me. If the x is 0, isn't that here and here? So what's the new equation if I cover both of those up? Awesome. And then how will you solve that? And what is 3 divided by 4? Which will go in the right spot. How are we doing, guys? Following okay? You ready for those easy ones I promised you? Okay, so back here, these other two are different. Okay, what's different about number 5? There's no y, it's only an x. Folks, if there's only an x and there's no y, that means it can never cross the y, because how could y equal something if there's no y? Does that make sense? So right away, I'm going to say, for the y-intercept, it's none. There isn't one, because there's no y up there. Does that make sense to everybody? If there's no y, it can't ever cross the y. Okay, which means there's only going to be an x-intercept, right? Hello? What do I know about every x-intercept? The y is 0. So where can I put the 0? On the right, which is the second spot, correct? But folks, there is no y up there, is there? So am I covering anything up? Does the equation change at all? No. And it's already solved, isn't it? So where are you going to put the 7? In the first spot. You got it. Zero equals x plus 7. You just moved where the equal sign was. Do you see how the equal sign is between the x and the 7? I can't change that. Okay. Number 10. But that one had a y in it already. Do you see how this one doesn't have a y? So it's a little bit different. Okay, guys, take a look at number 8. What do you notice about number 8? There's no x, is there? If there's no x, can it ever cross the x? If it can't cross the x, then there can't be an x-intercept. Period. There's no x in there. But I can find a y-intercept. What do I know about every y-intercept? So where's the 0 going to go, first or second? First. If the x is 0, is there any x up there? No. So does my equation change at all? No. So what's the equation? And it's already solved, isn't it? So where does the negative 3 go? In the second spot. How we doing, folks? You're sure? Because now I'm going to ask you to do this and then put it on a graph. So flip it over. Let's start with the easy ones that we just ended with. Can somebody find me in those 6 problems something that's going to be easy just like we just did? Number 6, he says. Let's look at number 6. I'm on the back. That looks just like that one we just did, doesn't it? So which intercept is it not going to have, an x or a y? X-intercept is none. Can't have it. There's no x up there. How about the y-intercept? What do I know about every y-intercept? So if the x is 0, where can the 0 go? First or second? Front. Guys, is there an x for me to plug that 0 into? So doesn't the equation stay the same? Which is -4 in the second spot? Okay, where is 0, comma, -4? If I start at the, hold on. If I start at the origin, left or right, where do I go? Nope. I asked you, left or right, where do I go? I don't go anywhere left or right because it's a 0 right there, isn't it? And I'm going to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, folks, we said there wasn't an x, so it can't cross the x, correct? How am I going to draw this so it never crosses the x-axis? Well, if I draw it straight up, doesn't it cross the x? I'm going to draw it horizontally, side to side. You're good now? Okay. Good then, right? Okay, I believe the one right above it is another one just like this. Which variable is it missing, folks? The y, which means, what's the y-intercept? None. There isn't one. But there is an x-intercept. What do I know about every x-intercept? The y is 0. Where is that 0 going to go? Second. If the y is 0, what changes about my equation? Is there a y up there to change? So it's just going to stay the same, right? How do I solve it? So what's x? Where does the 5 go? In the front. Okay, now think before you speak. If I start at the origin, where am I going to go, left or right? How many? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up or down? I'm not. Now, folks, we said this thing did not have a y-intercept. How do I draw this so it never crosses the y-axis? Up and down, it's going to be vertical. Those are the easy ones, if you know what you're doing. Are we ready to try the other ones now? I think I just want to work my way backwards, if that's okay with you. Is that all right with you? So I'm going to start here with number 5. Okay, x-intercept. And you probably have room down below it. Maybe we should do them down here. What do I know about every x-intercept? I stopped going around the room. I think I'm to Logan. Y is going to equal 0, Logan. Can you tell me where that 0 would go, first or second? Awesome. If the y is 0, that would cover up that part right there. So what's my new equation? And good news for you, there's nothing to solve, right? Isn't the x already isolated? So where's the 5 going to go, first or second, Logan? First. And I have a graph here, don't I, folks? We're going to put it on that graph. Logan, left or right, where do I go? How many? So I go 5 to the right, up or down? Nowhere, because it's a 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there. Everybody okay? All right, Quentin, I got to find the y-intercept now. What do I know about every y-intercept? If the x is 0, where can I plug in that 0, first or second? If the x is 0, that means this part is gone. What's the new equation? And that is not isolated, folks. I have to divide it by -1. So y is -5. And where am I going to put that -5, first or second? Okay, Quentin, left or right, where am I going to go? Nowhere, up or down? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Connect my dots, and there is my line. Doing okay? Okay. Mr. Stahl, I'm over to you for number 4. Let's find an x-intercept first. What do I know about every x-intercept? If the y is 0, is that going to go first or second? If the y is 0, what's the new equation? And how would you solve that? So x is, where does that go, first or second? Okay, if I'm going to graph that point, where am I going to go, left or right? Right 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoops, we'll be over here a little bit. 6. Up or down? No, I'm not going up or down. Everybody okay with putting that dot a little bit off your graph? Okay. Mr. Stoltz, let's find the y-intercept. What do we know about every y-intercept? If the x is 0, where can I put a 0? Okay. If the x is 0 and I cover it up, awesome, negative 3y equals 12. How do you solve that? Awesome, and where does that negative 4 go, first or second? Okay, if I'm going to graph that, where am I going to go, left or right? Trevor, left or right? No left or right. And go right there. I'm going to connect those dots, and there's my line. Quentin, you're going to make it back there? Yeah. Everybody okay? What do I got? 2 more left? Yes? Be about... Number 2, I'm over to Miss Sarah here. I want to find the x-intercept. What do I know about every single x-intercept? For which one, x or y? Correct. If the y is 0, can I put that 0 in the first or second spot? Perfect. If the y is 0, that means this part is gone. What's the new equation? Awesome. And how would you then solve that? How do I isolate this x? By? Don't forget about that negative sign on there, okay? And then what is negative 10 divided by negative 5? Oh, try again. And a negative divided by negative is a positive 2. How's everybody doing here? Are you following Sarah? Where does that 2 go? First spot or second spot? Okay, if I'm going to graph that, where am I going to go? Which way, left or right? Because it's positive, and we're not going to go up or down because the y is 0. All right, back to Savannah. Let's find that y-intercept. What do I know about every y-intercept? If the x is 0, where can I put the 0, first or second? And if the x is 0, what's the new equation? Solve it. First or second spot with the negative 5. And where do I go for that? Down 5. So that would be my line. How we doing, folks? You sure? I got one more left, and you're going to have to think about this one a little bit. Okay? So whoever wants to answer, you're more than welcome. Let's find the x-intercept. What do I know about every x-intercept? If the y is 0, where's that going to go, first or second? Second. And that will go right here, wouldn't it? If that goes right there, can I just not write it? I have to have it there. Which gives me what? Because we're dividing. Okay, I want to stop right here. Where is this 0 going to go, folks? That's the origin. Folks, isn't the origin both an x-intercept and a y-intercept? Okay, so this x and y-intercept are both going to be the same. That's a problem because I have to have 2 points, right? So you got to find another point, which means you have to pick an x and plug it in and solve it for what the y is. Now, everybody see where this x is right here, right? What x you want to pick? 5? Okay, now look at how big my graph is. We don't want to pick big old numbers. I would pick 1. Okay, is it 1 easy to use? Okay, so if I put a 1 right there, it looks like that, doesn't it? Can I just multiply these? So y is what? Now, what did I plug in for the x? I plugged in a 1 for the x, didn't I? And what did I get for the y? So here's my other point. Where am I going to go? No. Where am I going to go? Over 1, down 2. Well done. Everybody good with this? Now I have my 2 points, and there's my line. Questions. Your homework is set up just like this. The first part looks like the very first questions we did. The second part looks like the bottom questions that we did. The third part looks like the back of this. Okay? So I'm going to have to go make another copy.